Foundation, and she matches many of our education grants, so we're very pleased to have her today. We had very many excellent applications this quarter, as we usually do, and the successful applicants really deserve a round of applause. Because of the number of awards, we're going to go right to the presentations and finish up with some background information, which Jim will do as time permits. So I'm going to go ahead and start the grants right now. Christensen Middle School, Gabriella Chirica. I didn't do that too well. John Gordon sponsored this for $255. It's an iPad and LVEF matched. So please come up. We're actually giving some of the awards, the items out, so she's going to get her iPad right now.
Hi, so I'm a science teacher now at Christensen. It's my first year teaching. I actually worked at Sandia as a scientist there for 11 years, and my kids are growing, so I decided that I want to be closer to them. And how cute can you be closer than being a teacher? So I wanted to actually continue some of my work at the lab with my students. So the plan is to use this iPad to go along the Arroyo on Christensen, near Christensen School. You probably know about the Springtown Preserve. It's a very unique area, and we want to analyze water samples with the students and be able to locate exactly the point where we collected the samples, so the students understand not only the variation in time, but also in locate the variation that the water samples will have in location, depending on the location where you pick the samples from. So that's all. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Some of the teachers may have to leave early, so after your presentations, if you need to leave, please feel free to do so. We know that you're on tight schedules. Our next one is Christensen Middle School, Caitlin Medina, sponsored by Keith Caravo, and along with, this was the Livermore Valley Unified School District, really paid for all of this because they came to us and we went to the school district, and the school district took care of it for us, so we have more money for the mini grants.
All right, first of all, thank you for having me be here today. I love the song. Very good. Really fun and great food. So my program that I wanted to use for this grant is two different programs. One is called iExcel, and I teach special education. So it's a math program that allows the kids to work at different paces, but still get the same material in. The other one I'm using is called Brain Pop, and it's almost a cartoon of the California State Standards, so the kids see it in a fun way, and it makes it more engaging for the students that I have. So thank you again. Yeah.
The next one is Vineyard Elementary and High School, Helen Daniel. She was sponsored by Jackie Williams Cartwright, $250 from the club with matching grants from LVEF.
Thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate these grants. As pursuant to our accreditation review and the recommendation that we provide some small group activities for our students, we have decided to start a garden club. And it will do, not only will it teach the students something about gardening, but it will also provide an opportunity for them to work together and to improve the look of the school. So we're really excited about this project. Thank you again.
Livermore High School, Susan Edgar Lee, and she was sponsored by Kelly Bowers. The award is $370 with matching funds from LVEF.
Hi, thank you for everything. The AP Biology students, there's 27 of them, and we're leaving Friday with 5 parents, and we're going to go on an overnight camp, that's what we're calling it, to the Monterey Peninsula, and we're going to first start off at the aquarium and work with the scientists there, not only tour the aquarium, but do a lab in there that has to do with changes that are going on in the ocean. And then in the afternoon, we're going to be out at a beach near Asilomar, where data is collected by a lot of students in the state of California, and there's going to be marine biologists from both Hopkins and UC Santa Cruz helping me, because I don't know my marine invertebrates as well as they do. So then we're going to stay overnight at the hostel. Next morning, we're going around Point Lobos and having a nature walk there. Almost all the kids have never been there before. And then in the afternoon, we're going to go and kayak Elkhorn Slough. And that's where you guys came in. And you guys are paying for naturalists to kayak with us. Because again, I think they'll get so much more out of it because of you guys chipping in and taking care of that, because it wasn't cheap. Thank you.
Leo Croce Elementary School, Pam Ferrucci, sponsored by Leo Croce, and the award is $100 and also co-sponsored with LVEF.
Is Mike here? Well, it is one flesh. Okay. Although Pam says it's mostly mine. Pam's been teaching in Livermore for 24 years or so. She teaches elementary school science, and she started a garden at Croce Elementary School. She's been at Croce since the beginning, and she wants to say thank you to everyone for the grant. She's going to use it for gardening supplies. She has a wonderful garden at Croce. If you've never been there, it's an incredible place to visit. So I urge you all to pay a visit to Croce Elementary School. Thank you very much.
Granada High School, Barbara Cedar, or maybe Cedar, and Kate Williams was the sponsor, and her award is $125.
Thank you very much for having me today, and thank you for sponsoring for our kids. First off, I'd like to clarify something. I always clarify it for back to school night. I am looking for a husband. I see a lot of older men here. Good. But for my class, I teach American Sign Language. And in order for our class to be a true visual language, we have to have the setup of our room to be kind of in a horse shape. The chairs to be set up in a horse shaped fashion so that everybody can see each other. And I was looking for ideas this summer. I was thinking of beanbags or whatever, and I found desks on Craigslist that have you can slide up the actual desktop, and I got 35 of them for $150 from a culinary school, and they're so much more comfy than the other desks. So I thank you for making this possible.
Granada High School, Joanna Thompson and Kate Munyon was the sponsor. $255 was the award, and it was matched by LVEF, and it's another iPad. And from time to time, we're actually going to be able to actually give out what we are paying for. So iPads are easy.
Thank you all so much. I don't have an iPad myself, but several of my colleagues at school do have one, and so I've seen the wonderful things that they're able to do with them. One of the things is that with a very inexpensive piece of software, you can turn the iPad into an interactive whiteboard, which costs about 10 times as much. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that, and also to explore other things that we can do using the iPad in the classroom for instruction.
Granada High School, Valerie Nebo Hutchson. She was sponsored by Bill Nebo. $250 award, and it was matched also by LVEF.
Thank you, Rotary Club members, for this grant. I am using the grant to help our students who do come from poorer families that don't necessarily have internet at home. So in the quest for equity and social justice, the money is going to be used to provide internet access for up to 5 families in the district that qualify for free or reduced lunch. This will give students access to the online tutorials that are already offered, as well as give parents more access to their students' grades and access to the teachers that they otherwise wouldn't have. So ideally, this will reach 5 families, and that could be numerous more students depending on the number of kids they have in the district. So thank you.
Junction Avenue K through 8 School, Livermore Amador Symphony Association, Marcia Eccleston, and was sponsored by Alan Frank. $200 was the award, matched by LVEF.
Hello, thanks for having me this afternoon. Rotary and the Symphony and Junction Avenue have already collaborated on a program last year and will do so again this year, in that we sponsored tickets and brought about 20 students to our February concert. And the grant that we got this time is actually our collaboration with Junction, and it's an extension of the collaboration we had last year. And that is for an after-school music club, and the grant will pay for a music teacher to teach 8 45-minute beginning violin lessons. Those children will then go to the symphony in February, and our hope is that they will be inspired by learning to play an instrument and be able to then sign up for the orchestra class at Junction next year. So this grant, although it's through the symphony, it goes directly to Junction Avenue. Thank you very much.
The next award was actually taken care of by the school district. The person that's here, I believe, is Lisa Hannanen Danner, and she was sponsored by Kelly Bowers, and the grant is for $250, and it's matched by LVEF.
It's wonderful to be here in a room filled with so much energy and people that get along with each other and have great social skills. That doesn't come naturally to everybody. And so we find that in the schools there are lots and lots of kids who just don't know how to get along with each other. They don't know how to initiate a conversation. They don't know how to greet somebody. They don't know how to join a group, how to make friends and keep friends. So that's where the Kid Connection comes in. And we've been in the district for 20 years. We're a research-based program, and we provide direct services to kindergarten through 5th grade kids and teach them those skills. And in a playroom atmosphere, they get to practice the skills. We've had grants from the State Department of Mental Health, and the entire program was axed in the governor's budget in June. And so now we're piecing together our program, and the grant that you're providing to us is going to go to train our staff members, our paraprofessionals who work directly with the kids. So we are so very grateful. Thank you.
Maryland Avenue, Taylor Parker, sponsored by Susan Mayo. The grant is $250, matched by LVEF.
Hi everyone. We have this grant is going for a newspaper that's written at the 3rd grade level. It's for all of our students, and the $500 covers a newspaper for every kid throughout the whole year, every week. And it's great because as we were reading through it, it has a lot of interesting things. It's all on Bay Area news, and everything that's written in it is tied to standards of things that the kids need to learn, and it really goes through with our program really well. So we're really excited. It'll be our first time using it, and it should be great to have. Thank you.
We're going to switch here, and Jim's going to take over, and I get the money.
The next three recipients are like Kate Medina. They're actually paid for by the district. And one of the nice things about this program and the cooperation with the district and with LDEF is that by working with all three organizations, we're able to work out not only better costs, because the district looks up costs for us and makes sure that our grants are consistent with those. Then also, the district also reviews our grants, both for the idea of getting an idea of what the teachers are looking for, so they can be planning for it. That's another insight for them. And in addition, they identify those programs that they can fund directly by the school district, because they're funded by either categorical funds or they basically have a budget for that particular item. So the first of these is from Rancho Las Positas. Jody Gibbons is the recipient, and Tom Vargas was the sponsor.
Thank you so much for sponsoring this event. I teach first grade, and I'm using the grant to buy beginning level reading group books and a special reading program to assist Rancho's First Grade Reading Academy program. The materials will be able to help me provide targeted instruction for struggling readers to help them become better readers. So the first graders and I really appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much.
The next grant goes to Leo Kochi Elementary School. Susan Putnam is the recipient, and I'm the sponsor. Now, Leo, I beat you out on that one. So. Actually, I should also mention that Susan is one of the real movers and shakers behind the backpack project that gives materials to children who need them to start school. So, Susan?
I happen to know Jim. I think that's what made to mind first. I am a special day class teacher for preschool 3- and 4-year-old children. And I'm also a speech language pathologist. So in my class, I get children who qualify for services because they have learned to know language due to autism, hearing impaired, a variety of disorders. Primarily, my class 4 days a week is language, and I wanted to give some more help, I guess you would say, for kids who not only have language disorders, but severe articulation disorders. So this program, I started this year and added 2.5 hours of service for kids who not only have language problems, but are now trying to talk, but cannot say speech sounds. So for instance, they might leave out all their final T sounds in a word. So instead of saying hat, they say ah. Or their sentences are my ma'i go to and bye Annie. And so my mommy went to the store and buys candy. So I have devised a program that bombards with a speech sound for that 2.5 hours. So if it's final T, we make a snack that we cut a heart and made toast and it was hot, and bombard all for that entire 2.5 hours with a book, with a project to emphasize that speech sound. And it also involves homework, so to speak, for the parents to maintain that through the week till the next session for those kids. These kids are also still in a special day class for the language impaired as well, but it's to give them more speech help. So your materials for the grant is helping me buy materials specifically for that program. Books, cards, picture books, and some auditory listening devices, so they have to listen to a list of sounds that I say with earphones. And so thank you very, very much.
The last one funded directly by the school district goes to Granada High. Brenda Morris is the recipient, and Sheila Fagliano was the sponsor.
Thank you very much for having me. I teach mostly geometry at Granada, and this year I'm going to be teaching our more struggling students. And I wanted to approach it differently, and I wanted to have a more hands-on method of teaching in the classroom, because these are students that have struggled with the traditional geometry classes. What I started in summer was looking for businesses that might want to donate computers, and I stumbled across the lab. And the lab said, well, we're right now recycling some of our computers, and this is interesting to us, and let's proceed. So currently I'm in the process of acquiring these computers. Right now, of course, most of you that work for the lab know you're at the 60th anniversary, and this weekend's a big weekend for everybody. So right now, it's a little bit on hold, but I've been assured that we will continue to push through, and soon we'll be acquiring some computers just for my classroom, and then the funds that are coming in from the grant are going to be to supply the Geometer Sketchpad, which is a very dynamic software, a much more hands-on approach where students can get on. Instead of memorizing theorems and postulates and the properties, they can actually start understanding what they mean, because this is how you talk to students now, it's through computers. So this is what I am planning on doing in the classroom. And the other I want to mention is I'm looking for guest speakers, because these are our students that are going to be out in the world working sooner than our students that are going to a four-year college and four-year university. So if anybody is interested in coming in and speaking and letting these students and getting them engaged back into school and encouraged that they get their college degree and see what is available to them, I would love to have people come in. We usually keep that for our higher level students, but I think it's really important to get them into students that are going to be in the workforce in the next couple of years. These are mostly juniors and seniors that I will have. And thank you.
The next grant goes to a collaboration between Junction Avenue and Livermore Mariachi Club. Delia Martinez is the recipient, and Lori Souza was the sponsor. As was mentioned before, Delia is a member of the school, so we had to give her a grant.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for this opportunity to be here to receive this grant on behalf of our after-school mariachi club. It is greatly appreciated. We've been in existence going into our second year. The students are very excited. The beginning of the school year, they were asking right away, are we starting back up? Are we starting back up? We've got 4 instructors that travel from out of the area to come and teach music. We offer 4 instruments instruction in violin, guitar, trumpet, and guitarrón, which is your bigger guitar. And we also, if there is an interest for the smaller guitar, which is the guitar vihuela, then we would have that available as well. So the students are very excited. We performed last year in Shooting for the Stars, as well as the event at the library for the Rotary Club. And so we are available. And just contact us and let us know. This grant will be available for the students who need music scholarships or supplies for their instruments, as well as for their attire for the mariachi attire. So once again, thank you so much.
The next grant goes to Granada High School. Chrissy Bowie is the recipient, and Kate Runyon was the sponsor. Is Chrissy here? So Chrissy's project, she's a special needs transition class teacher, and she wanted sewing machines for her students to make objects to sell to other students at the school. And that was really, I thought, quite a clever idea, because in addition to actually using skills to make something, they actually got some kind of business sense in terms of handling the money and selling the things to the school. So the last persons who are here, that I know are here, it goes to Junction Avenue, Carol Millenbeck. Millenbeck. Norma Foss was her sponsor.
Thank you. So I brought a visual aid today to show you what you're actually funding. And then I'll tell you more about myself. So Junior Scholastic is a news magazine, and I'm a core teacher. It's a double period of English and Social Studies, and I teach 8th grade at Junction, 2 sections of regular core and 1 section of honors core. And I'll be using the funds to pay for this Junior Scholastic for my Honors Corps for the whole year. It's a bi-weekly magazine, news magazine, and this year is a wholly very exciting year with the election, and our standards cover U.S. history. So it's very rich, and it provides for current events, national, international. There's also past history, sometimes plays and suggestions for ways to act out history. And also, most importantly, provides GATE students with the opportunity for lots of debate and discussion and higher level thinking. And the funding for GATE has been drastically cut down per capita for kids that are identified as GATE students. So these funds from Rotary are greatly appreciated, and I thank you so much.
The recipients of the next two awards are not here. The first one goes to Jackson Avenue. Lindy Lewis is the recipient. Tom Vargas was the sponsor. Lindy sent us a note, and also, Don, if you'd show this. Lindy got a rug. And this is a picture of the students sitting on the rug. You can see the various squares that they're sitting on. And this is a fairly common practice that I've seen in other schools as well. Here's what Lindy wrote. It is with sincere gratitude that I write this letter. You recently awarded me a mini grant for my classroom, and I am very appreciative for your generosity. With the grant, I was able to purchase a seating rug for my classroom. This rug has made a great impact in my classroom. I now have a colorful and fun way to manage my students' seating, making our learning environment much more inviting and organized. My students were beyond excited to have each their own spot. Anything that makes a child excited to learn is worth a lot. I could not have not gotten this rug without your support. Thank you very much for supporting me. And the last grant went to Altamont Cree School. Barbara Hamilton was a recipient, and Sheila Fagliano was the sponsor. Barbara sent me a similar letter this morning, just as I was going out the door. And I did print it out, but it still didn't even print it. She is a resource specialist and a special needs teacher, and she wanted an iPad to spark the interest of her students with disabilities. She found the use of computers especially useful with visually impaired students and with young students who are able to use the touch screen. And quite basically what we're seeing is, I think, that the next generation, maybe 2 generations in my case, back, is really coming along with a much different educational process than we see. And their use of technology is far beyond ours. In fact, our 14-year-old neighbor, young lady, we said, hey, if we need help on our computer, can we get you to come over? So again, let's give a special round of applause for our guests. What you've seen is really an outstanding combination of excellence, initiative. Some of these things, going out on Craigslist to get desks for your room, that just really, I thought that was really good. And the dedication that they exhibit in doing their study, their teaching their students, I think just outstanding. So if you like it, sit down and gentlemen. Okay, now, we've just gone through 19 presentations, and so let me kind of summarize what happened here. Right. This quarter, we received the mini grant committee, and maybe I could ask you to stand up. We have just a minute or two. So if I could have the mini grant committee members that are here stand up. You can see quite a cross-section of people, and it's really, they do really do a superb job. We received 25 requests, totaling $11,545. We rejected 3 of them. The district is funding 4 directly, and we carried over 3 because we exhausted the funds that we had allocated for the grants in this round. The 15 grants that we funded totaled $3,525. Of this, $3,025 came from the funds that you, the member, and the club earmarked for this. Another $500 came from a separate account, which we have collected donations from earmarked fines and from contributions. As I mentioned in the beginning, actually Mary Ann did, LBF matches our grants, and again, I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. And then the interaction between Kate Runyon, Cindy Alba, the assistant superintendent, and Gloria Rios, the purchasing director at the district, really helped enormously in making sure that the grants are reasonable and that the district then picks up the things that they can pick up. Actually, the district saved us at least $100 that I know of on some of the things that we had to buy this time. We'd be remiss, I think, in ending if we didn't mention the role that you, the sponsors, play. You're really the first line of contact. Without you, we don't get these things. And also you can, and I'd like to emphasize, you can kind of coach some of the applicants so that we get the information that we need. It's much better to get something that says, I'm going to use these magazines to teach these students to do these things, than to say, send me the money and I'll buy something. The next round of invitations is Wednesday, December 5th. The awards will be given out on January 2nd. Thank you.